Hello, my name is Matt. Welcome to my YouTube channel and also my first video. So I watch YouTube videos all the time and I really get inspired by them, and so it really made me want to create my own channel. For the longest time though, I never knew what I wanted my channel to be about. So I got to thinking, and something that really has a lot of importance with me is just helping other people. So I decided that that's what I want my channel to be about. I just want to try to help other people. So over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of changes that have happened in my life. And I've learned a lot of different things about life as well, and I just want to share these experiences with others, and hopefully they will help other people on their journey as well. So this channel, it's going to be a wide range of things, probably going into religion and philosophy, and maybe even throw in some mathematics and physics as well. But another main thing is that I want to have on this channel is yoga. Yoga's helped me tremendously on this journey. It's helped me to understand more about myself and to just make connections within the world and see how it all relates together, which is really important. So the purpose of this channel is just to really help others in seeing this connection and how everything is related. Since yoga's been a big part in that for me, I want to show it to you guys as well, so hopefully you all might take it up and see the benefits that it can have in your life. So today is just this simple sequence that I put together that is just some easy poses to get you started into yoga and to help you get your flexibility and to just learn to move your body and get to know your body as well. Just to make this clear, I'm not a trained yoga instructor. I plan on being one in the future, but these are all just what I have learned from yoga videos and classes and other things that have really helped me, and I just want to share them with you guys as well. So let's get started.
We will start with easy pose. For this, you just sit with your legs crossed in front of you, with your sit bones firmly placed on the ground, trying to keep your knees going towards the ground as well, and sitting up tall as straight as possible. Now for this is where you really want to set your breathing for your exercise. So I typically do deep breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And I'll also leave another link to other yogic breathing exercises as well. For this sequence, I will be holding each pose from 5 to 7 breaths. You can adjust this if you would like. This is just the amount of time that I typically like to hold these poses. I feel like it really helps to build up your flexibility and also your strength at the same time. Okay, after your final breath, we will move on to half Lord of the Fishes pose. For this, you'll step your left leg over the right, and then bring the right leg underneath the left, bending it, and then sit up as straight as possible, and then twist to the left, putting the outside of the right arm up against the leg for support. And then you will try to twist from the spine, still keeping the sit bones firmly placed on the floor. With each inhale, you will want to try to sit up straighter, and then with each exhale, you'll want to try to twist deeper. Okay, so then after your final breath, we will do the same thing on the other side, bending the left leg underneath the right and stepping the right leg over. And then we will twist to the right with the outside of the left arm now on the leg, still sitting up straight and twisting from the spine. Not only is this pose good for your spine and back, it's also really good for opening up the hips as well, and really stretching them out and getting them ready for the rest of these poses. next we will move into cat and cow poses. First for these though, we will come onto all fours in a tabletop position with our arms directly below our shoulders and with our knees in line with our hips and with our knees also making a right angle. We will start with cow pose by inhaling and moving the chest forward and raising the head up and elongating the spine. And then we'll move directly into cat pose by exhaling and curling the spine upwards like you're trying to curl up and over something. And then you will just repeat this process for how many ever breaths you decided to hold each pose for. Okay, and then as you finish your last exhale in cat pose, you will inhale again, but then with this exhale, you're gonna push the hips up and back, going into downward facing dog pose. For this one, you can either keep the knees bent or straight, just depending on however you feel. It's going to give you a slightly different stretch in your hamstrings. But the key thing is trying to keep the spine as straight as possible, all the way through the base of the tailbone, through the top of the head. It's also really important to just keep on pushing firmly into the ground with both your hands and your feet. It's okay if your heels don't touch the ground, but you should strive to get them to touch the ground eventually. Okay, and then after your final exhale, you will either step or jump forward, and we'll go into our standing forward bend. So for this pose, you can either keep your feet together or about hip width apart. It's just gonna give you a slightly different stretch depending on which position you choose. And then you're really gonna try to bend from your hips and where that connection is. And really just try to take your chest towards your knees and your head towards the floor. With each exhale, you want to try to go a little deeper with the stretch, and then just try to keep the spine as straight as possible throughout. On the next inhale, we're going to stand up straight and come into mountain pose. For this, you can keep your feet in the same position as the previous pose, and then you can just bring the arms down to your side with your palms facing to the front. And then once you get steady, you'll want to try to wrap the leg muscles inwards towards the inside of your legs and curl the butt bone underneath your spine, trying to bring that line directly all the way up through the top of your head. Next, we're going to move into Warrior 2 pose. So you're going to face the side of your mat and spread your feet apart 3 to 4 feet. And then we're going to start with the left side. So you're going to twist your right foot inwards about 45 degrees and then your left leg out 90 degrees. And then you're going to bend the left leg. You want to try to keep the left heel in line with the arch of the right foot, keeping that lined up pretty well. It's also important to keep the left knee directly over the left foot as well. And then you'll want to just raise your arms up to shoulder height, and then you're going to look out over that left arm. Throughout this pose, you'll want to try to keep your back straight and try to keep your center of gravity positioned over your hips, and then just try to sink deeper into this pose with each breath. Okay, and then while we're on this left side, we'll go ahead and do Warrior One pose as well. So for this, you'll want to keep the feet on opposite corners of the mat, squaring the hips with the front of the mat. You'll keep the left foot pointing in the same direction as the previous pose, but the right foot will turn inwards a little more, about 60 degrees now. Once you have your feet and hips lined up, then you will do just like the last pose and bend that left knee, keeping it in line with the heel, and then raising the spine straight and the arms up over the head. And then if you want to, you can either kind of lean back slightly as a slight back bend, or try to keep it all in line with that back leg and keep it straight all the way throughout. Okay, and then after that pose, you can go ahead and stand up, shake it out a little if you need to, and then we'll move on to the other side and repeat the same process for the other side now. Okay, and then after Warrior 2 on the right side, we'll move on into Warrior 1 on the right side as well. Okay, now we will move into wide leg standing forward bend. So you'll extend your legs again 3 to 4 feet wide, and then you're going to bend from your hips. So then you're just going to lean forward, trying to keep the back straight. And then from here you can either interlace your hands behind your back and raising your hands up towards your shoulders, or you can just leave your arms out in front of you. Now we will move on to chair pose. So for this, you can keep your feet hip width apart, and then you're just gonna, on an inhale, raise your arms up over your head, keeping your arms straight, and then on the exhale, just bend your knees and coming to a near sitting position. You want to try to keep your knees positioned behind the toes as much as possible. And then for this you can go as deep as whatever feels comfortable, and you just want to try to keep a long line straight from the base of the spine all the way through the top of the head, also extending through the arms as well. Okay, and then after your final breath you will inhale and come to mountain pose, and then you will exhale and go to standing forward bend. Stay here for a breath or two, and then you will move into downward facing dog position. And then we'll just stay here for a breath or two as well, and then we will move into our upward facing dog. So to do this, you'll just come down, and if you need to at first, you can set your legs on the ground for support. You want to keep your hands underneath your shoulders with your chest going forward, and then you want to lay your feet straight out with your toes pointing back. And then once you get your legs positioned, you want to come up on the tops of the feet, raising the legs off the ground. Okay, and then after your final breath, you'll exhale and come back to your knees, and then we're going to move into child's pose. So to do this, you'll just keep your knees as wide as the mat, and we'll sit your hips back as far as you can go, and then just lean forward with your head towards the ground and your arms extended out in front of you. Again, you want to try to keep your spine straight, and then with each breath, try to send your butt and your sit bones back farther. Okay, and then after we're finished with child's pose, we'll inhale, and then on an exhale come into downward facing dog position. And then from here we're going to move into plank. So you'll just shift your weight forward and keep your hands below your shoulders, keep your chest wide, and then try to keep your back in a straight line all the way throughout the top of your head to the base of your feet. Okay, and then after plank you can come and sit back down, extend your legs out straight in front of you, then sit up straight and tall. Then on an inhale, extend your arms up above your head, and then on an exhale we'll bend forward for our seated forward bend. In these forward bends that I've been doing today, you really just want to try to focus on bending from the hip joints. Technique for helping in this is to just try to keep your back as straight as possible, and then just try to take your chest as close as you can to your knees. Okay, and then after the final breath, we'll go on and sit back up. Then we'll bend the knees and pull the feet in closer to the hips. And then we're gonna go into boat pose. So you want to make sure that you keep your sit bones firmly placed on the ground. Then you want to slightly lean back and then lift your legs up off the ground, holding this right like this. You will want to keep the arms extended straight out in front of you as well. Now, if this pose is too difficult, another variation you could do is just by starting laying on your back and then raising your legs to a 45-degree angle, keeping them straight, and then progressing further up until you can hold them all the way straight up. And this will give you another workout that is pretty similar on the abs as well. If you're in boat pose though, now you will go ahead and lower down, and we'll go into our corpse pose. Now this pose is just to help get relaxed and help bring everything together and see all the connections in what you did today. Okay, we'll start by just taking some deep breaths to really get us relaxed. And then you'll work on relaxing each body part one at a time, starting with the toes and then moving up through the feet, up through the legs. And then you'll work on relaxing the spine by relaxing each vertebrae one at a time. And this will just help to really get in touch with your body as well and to really feel what's going on and see where any issues might be. After the spine is fully relaxed, then we'll do the same process on the shoulders, the arms, down to the fingers, and also the neck and head as well. Now there's no specific time limit to stay in this pose. Usually I'll lay here for a good 5 to 15 minutes, just really taking in everything that went in during my practice. But if you only need about 10 breaths, that's fine too. Whatever it takes just to get you relaxed. As we come out of corpse pose today, we'll just start by wiggling the toes, bringing awareness back to them, and then just start bringing awareness back all the way up through your body. And you can also wiggle your fingers around as well. Just get everything woken back up. And then you can gently turn over to the side and push yourself up, and we're all finished.
Okay, and that is all the sequence. These are just some of the poses that really helped me get into yoga, to help me develop my flexibility and to help work on learning how to control my breath. So I hope you enjoyed, and there will be many more to come, I hope, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.